John Cleese walks out on an interview of the BBC. And this lady on the BBC, yeah, she was being a dick. What? Wow. No, I try to be respectful of people. That's it. That's good. That's that. All right. That's gone. Okay. So she asks John Cleese about cancel culture and why he thinks it's bullshit. And well, he doesn't. That's funny because, you know, the media, they're funny. The media, in a bad way, because they try to put people against each other. Like this lady, she doesn't say what she thinks about Dave Chappelle's show and whatever. She doesn't take a stance. She doesn't say, "Oh, I think it's shit. I think it's good. I think it's great," or whatever. She doesn't say anything. So she tries to get John Cleese to say something. Then there's, "Oh, John Cleese, whatever you say, how can you even win with that? Is there a victory to be had?" So if she asks John Cleese, "Oh, what do you think about Dave Chappelle's show?" And he goes, "Well, I think the show is shit." Next day, John Cleese condemns Dave Chappelle. "I think the show is great." John Cleese approves Dave Chappelle. John Cleese tells her to fuck off and walks out of the interview. John Cleese refuses to condemn Dave Chappelle. I wonder what I didn't check that. I will check that. Let's see this little waggle. I will check the headlines or whatever was said after the interview. But there is a difference between mentioning someone or a group of people and actually punching down or going after them. That's kind of the whatever the variant or whatever the fuck it is. And then they say, "Oh, don't go to the theater," but you go to the subway and it's fucking packed. I could feel someone's dick rubbing against me last time I went to Paris. But you know, people were like this. You know, when you're in the subway and the crowded train, you just try to avoid eye contact because it gets weird. If not, you're like really touching, and if you look them in the eyes, people start to get horny and stuff. That's how packed it was. You know, I was, oh man. Anyway, so, but a COVID death trap. But anyway, John Cleese, yeah. Well, it's hard because he got interested in doing a documentary. Well, someone asked him Someone asked him to do a documentary about cancel culture, and it's you know, if we try to take, as he says, try to take the emotional, there's the dog going, the emotional words out of it, it kind of makes sense to think about things like what Chappelle says. Chappelle has something to say about what happens with the trans community and the relationship he has with the trans community, and what happens in America if you're a black man and there's the trans community and there's stuff going on, and why shouldn't you talk about it? Why? If you victimize people and you can, "Oh, don't talk to them, don't say," it's what, condescending. It's weird. It's a very weird line between victimization. If you say, "Oh, don't talk about people with disabilities," "Oh no, you can't talk about them," so you pretend they don't exist as a comedian whose job is to see what's going on, to have a critical eye on society and on things. Of course, you can choose your topics. You don't have to whatever. It's weird because freedom of expression is freedom of expression. And there's, again, opinions and facts. You might think that I'm an idiot, that I'm stupid, that I'm not funny, that I'm not good looking, but you'd be wrong. You might say all those things because those are opinions. Opinions is an opinion. This guy, Scott Finn, he's a piece of shit. He doesn't do anything right. That's fine. Now, John Cleese, again. It's funny because if you think of John Cleese and The Life of Brian, when that came out, cancel culture, wow. All the Christians, ooh. And they say, "Oh, and I said, no, this is not about Christ, it's about Brian. You know, Brian, this is the life of Brian, not the life of Christ." So, yeah. Anyway, media, what a bunch of bastards. And of course, if you're John Cleese, you can just walk out on any fucking interview you want, because you're John Cleese. Say, oh, John Cleese. And people will say, oh, John Cleese walked out on an interview. What did that awful woman do to him for him to walk out on her? And yeah, it wasn't very, it's a bit, not very dramatic now, is it? Like, that's stupid. Like, oh, I'm walking out of the interview now, fuck you. And you remove your thing. It's I think it's a lot funnier when they decide to walk out on the interviews and they have lots of wires. I'm going to walk out now. And they can't move anymore because there's the microphones and the plugs in their anus and stuff like that to keep them in place. And it's never very dramatic. If you walk out on an interview, when I'm famous, listen to this, darling, this is, I'll have a door just behind me, right? Just the door, well, in the hinges, of course. So, just the door would be stupid. Anyway, so I walk out on an interview, I get up, I go through the door and I slam the motherfucker. Blah! And that would be dramatic. I never want to be walking out on interviews and having wires, because you look pathetic. So that is my, the takeaway of this video is, if you walk out on an interview, do it with style, and wear pants. Lucky he was wearing pants, John Cleese, because if he wasn't wearing any pants, which was, now that I think of it, it'll be really, really funny. Oh man, to see his old python balls hanging, that would be really funny. I'm walking out on this interview, and he gets up in his balls, and this is for cancel culture, and he waggles his balls. Well, thank you for that. Well, I had a good laugh thanks to this interview, and John. I have a special hairdo. I had fun yesterday with the blow dryer, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I did the Celine Dion TikTok challenge, where you sing Celine Dion with a hairdryer pointed at your mouth, and the hairdryer is on, but on cold air, not hot air, because it wouldn't be very nice. Anyway. Oh man, I never addressed this in our Bearded Obscenities thing, but cancel culture. Cancel culture is is hard for comedians, because, what can we do? I try, if you probably noticed, I'm lucky nobody watches my videos, otherwise I'd be cancelled long time ago. No.